LiveStream Under the Moonshine. This is episode number 176. I am proud to go ahead and announce, guys, tonight we're going to be playing a visual novel that came out on Steam a couple of years ago. I had the pleasure of playing through about 3.5 hours, I believe, of this visual novel 2 years ago. The problem is I never finished it. So since I've actually played that, I've lost all my save data anyway. The problem is I never finished it. And, so I would have to restart over anyway. Since I've actually played that, it's been a while. I do remember it being really interesting. So visual novel. Since I've actually played that, it's been a while. I do remember it being really interesting. Novel. So visual best narrative. So I'm excited to get back into an Octave Higher, guys. This time, hopefully, we can finish it. All we're going to be playing tonight, guys, is in Octave Higher. We'll probably try to complete this in... It'll probably take a week or so to get through it. I think it's about an 8-hour playthrough, and a lot of times when I read out loud, it takes even longer. So 8 hours is if you're reading it to yourself. John, how you doing? Thank you for the congrats on the 10K subs. Keep up the good work. Guys, we have a great visual novel in store for you guys over the coming week or two, depending on how often we repeat this. I don't know if I'll be doing it every night or like skipping a day or two between parts, but I look forward to getting back into a visual novel, into an Octave Higher. And I did put the link down in the description below, so be sure you guys check that out. And let's get started, shall we? Okay, since we don't have any sound options or anything, guys, I'm going to go ahead and turn the music way down. Way down. Let me know, can you guys still hear the music a little bit? Whoever's here? Yeah, this is a... this really looked good. It was, you know, you got like, well, if it was so good, why didn't you finish it? Well, you know, a visual novel sometimes can take a lot of reading. Wasn't yet doing live streaming yet, so I was making parts of it. You guys could find all the parts of an Octave Higher. I believe they're in a playlist from like 2015, a couple years ago. But we're going to start over, guys. I'm going to have you guys right here with me as I read an Octave Higher, get a refresher for myself, because like I said, it's been a couple of years. And you hear nothing now? Okay. We don't want the music at all to overpower my voice, for sure. But let me know if you can hear any kind of music now. Yeah, see, I have no save data from what I did 2 years ago. Now you can hear the music? Okay, we just want you to hear the music faintly, I think. Alright guys, let's go ahead and start on an Octave Higher. And let's get this show started. LiveStream Under the Moonshine, episode number 176. Announcer says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. The main event of Lord Godwin's birthday celebrations. A sorcerer match between Lord Godwin's son, Lord Frederick, and a mystery challenger." Okay, so we have a sorcerer match between Lord Godwin's son, Lord Frederick, and a mystery challenger. The 6 crystal balls floating in the corners of the hexagonal arena are glaring with a nervous glimmer, as if they, like the willpower-filled mana boiling in my hands, were growing restless, awaiting the start of the match. My opponent and I are standing face to face in the center of the massive arena, separated only by an old wizard referee. The stadium was luxurious, like a ballroom on a massive scale. Thousands of people could be seated in rows of seats stretching all the way up to the ceiling, as far as the arena floor was as west wall was from the east. Wait a minute. As far from the arena floor as the west wall was from the east. Okay. Still, when the announcer's voice rang out, it didn't fail to reach the ears of even the furthest spectator. He's using Amplify magic on his voice, of course. Contestants, are you ready? The wizard gives me a solemn look, but also gentle, like a grandfather. A weak smile peeks from his bushy white beard and mustache. Frederick Godwin? The old wizard says. I'm ready, says Frederick. These formalities annoy me. Let's just begin. Janice Wolfe, are you ready? I am. A woman. This must be a joke. And for my father's birthday celebrations, no less. A few weeks ago, I complained to my father that my matches were getting too easy, and I wanted a real opponent who could fight. Now he's giving me this kind of match, and he calls this a special event? This must be his way to spite me. Is this woman even a sorcerer player? Huh, because he's going up against a girl? What the heck? Sorcerer is a sport, a game of magic. The rules are simple. 6 crystals are placed in the 6 corners of the arena, 3 for each contestant. And to win the match, all you have to do is break 2 of the 3 that belong to your opponent. Now this is the fun of the game, because your opponent only needs to break 2 of your crystals to win. You can't just jump in front of 1 crystal and guard it. You have to keep moving and use strategy. Makes sense. Okay. An experienced sorcerer wastes no time in formulating a strategy. Even before the match begins, they observe their surroundings, watch their opponent, and decide on their opening move. For example, I'm gathering willpower. That should tell my opponent that I will cast some sort of earth magic spell, so they'd better prepare to have their own spell that's appropriate to counter my spell. But this woman, she's as stiff as a statue. She's not readying any magic. Her eyes just gaze into me. It's strange. Her eyes don't communicate aggression. They're not murderous, but her eyes seem empty, like she isn't seeing anything. But she was. She was seeing everything. And let's begin! The orchestra begins to play furiously, as soon as the wizard signals the start of the match. I'm upset that my father is making me play against this woman I've never even heard of, so I'll just finish this off quickly. I'm in no mood for a game right now. I aim my arm at my opponent and prepare to summon a rain of rocks. Ooh. But before I summon anything, an aura of faith starts emanating from her. She aims her arm at me and opens her hand wide. Her palm flashes and then... Summon faith? A violent jet of wind bursts from her hand. I need to block this. I quickly raise my willpower-filled palm and cast my spell. Summon. Summon willpower. A wall of rock erupts from the ground in front of me. The wind from her slams against my rock shield. The shield breaks and crumbles, but not before stopping her attack. But I'm not waiting around. As my shield crumbles, I'm running off to the side, gathering courage magic for the next volley. I feel my right forearm heating up with fiery power. But my opponent isn't idle either. She prepares to counter me with a magic spell of her own. Intelligence, huh? That's fire against water. This will be interesting. Her sudden wind attack took me by surprise. I didn't expect her to be able to cast such a powerful spell so quickly. Maybe this wolf girl knows how to play sorcerer after all. But then again, so do I. How you doing, Gabino? Welcome everybody, as I am reading another visual novel. This one's from a couple years ago. This is an Octave Higher. Frederick, summon! I point my finger at her. She says summon. She does the same. He summons courage. A gush of fire roars from my finger at my opponent. But she casts, looks like water. A sharp blast of water shoots out from hers. It nullifies my attack and even packs enough of a punch to stagger me when it connects. I like how the water here almost looks like a water dragon. Look at that. Look, you can see the eyes. That does that not look like a water dragon or something? Look at the mouth. I never noticed that before. That's cool. Looks like it just whoosh, just blanked out his fire spell. Pretty cool the way this visual novel starts out. Damn it! Is my fire that weak? I quickly recover my composure and return to my battle stance. I'm drenched now, but that's a minor discomfort. Hey Minnie, welcome. Wolf eyes me with an almost quizzical look. Look at that look. What's with that fire, kid? I thought you were pretty good with the way you reacted to my first attack, but then... Frederick says, who are you to ask me such questions? I am a Lord of Overture, little Miss Wolf. Shut up and fight me. Humph. And then the woman smirks at me. She's underestimating me now. That will work in my favor. Very well. However, she isn't the only one to be trifled with either, and I will not make the same mistake twice. Hey Maite, welcome. I like this this first off match. This is a great way to start a visual novel. I think this is a very interesting way to start this off. So as I gather my willpower, my opponent starts building up faith. With swift, precise motion, she brings her right hand in front of her face, the open palm facing her. It's another summon of wind. In that case, I'll just... Wait, no. It's not just a summon spell. Wolf suddenly closes the hand to a fist. She invokes Amplify on top of her summon. Faith, summon, and Amplify. It's a tornado! Oh shit! Amplify, summon, Faith. Before I have time to consider my next move, Wolf straightens her arm and opens her hand. A tornado stretches dozens of feet into the air and barrels out towards me. Now that'd be a little bit scary, would it not? I try to summon the willpower I've built up, but it's too late. The tornado has sent me flying. Whack! I hit the ground hard. Arg! I get back up, but Wolf has already prepared another tornado. Oh shit. Who in the name of the gods is this woman? I need to reevaluate my strategy. Let's see, my rock shield won't be able to withstand that tornado. I can cast another earth magic spell like Quake, but I don't see how that can help in this situation. At any rate, I don't need to beat her. I need to break her crystals. That's just what I was thinking. I was like, these guys are like fighting like a Tekken fight or something like that, and it looks like that's not even the object of the game. The object of the game, like he said, remember guys, is to break 2 of your opponent's 3 crystals. She keeps casting tornadoes at this guy. You think she would, I don't know. I think she'd be going after his crystals after she stunned him and knocked him down with that first tornado. Anyway, at any rate, I don't need to beat her, I need to break her crystals, but attacking the crystals openly probably wouldn't work. I expect she knows how to protect them. Alright, let's try something unexpected. I charge up a new attack, this time focusing on courage. And Wolf says, what, fire again? Didn't you learn your lesson the first time? Hey, Brookie Bear, welcome, hun. And Wolf's dispassionate voice is almost inaudible, with the wind swirling about, but I can catch her taunting me. Yes, I hope that doesn't scare you. Don't worry, I'm not. What are you waiting for then? You summon the wind. Where's the Amplify? Oh, it's coming, all right. Wolf makes a fist with her right hand. Amplify! Uh-oh. This is it. Instead of dodging, I dash straight towards the wind that's quickly turning into a tornado. Summon. Summon faith, summon courage. What are you doing? Contrary to the woman's expectation, I'm not summoning a fire attack. Instead, I combine my magic with hers. This is a cooperative technique normally employed by two magicians who are working together. It's called combo magic. If I combine my fire magic with her tornado, a deadly fire tornado is born. That's pretty cool. Wolf can't reorient herself with a new situation in time, and I quickly close the distance between us and get both of us caught into the fire tornado. Oh shit, look at that. Look at that. They're up in the air now. Look at that damn thing. You know how cool it would be to actually watch this, to be one of the spectators watching a couple of magicians do this crap, like in real life, like if this was real? This would be awesome. I can see why a lot of people watch this, at least in this visual novel. Minnie says, I feel like this is a bedtime story. Zax is a great reader. I'm not saying it's boring. Ricky Bear says, don't forget to like the stream, guys. And, oh, what, only 1 like and 7 people watching? Yeah, be sure you like that video, guys, if you guys are entertained so far. This is, I remember, like I said, I read this about 2 years ago, guys. I was doing a Let's Play of it. I just never finished it. I really want to go back and finish it. This game did win awards for best narrative and stuff like that. And it did, I could see how it did, because it is really well written. Like you see, I mean, it starts off with definitely a lot of interest in intrigue. A lot of action, too. So we're both flung away like dolls. So he combines his fire spell with her tornado spell, creates a fire tornado, basically to counter her tornado from smacking him again. And so now it looks like it worked, because at least he got her flying too, rather than just him getting his ass knocked to the ground. Flames scatter in every direction. An attack like this would be a disaster for the audience if it weren't for the magic barriers around the arena that are maintained by security guards during sorcerer matches. Okay, so basically there's an invisible wall, a shield, if you would, a magical shield protecting the audience from all these spells. That makes sense. I don't see where Wolf is right now, but as for me, I've managed to steer myself towards one of Wolf's crystals. Oh, wow. That was pretty good. So not only did he mix his fire spell with her tornado spell, send her flying through the air, but he kind of knew what he was doing. Now he's kind of steering himself as he's in the air towards one of her crystals. That's cool. I place around as I'm flying across the arena, but Wolf is definitely not in this corner. I'm in the clear. I do have a problem in that I'm too high up in the air. With my current trajectory, I'm sure to fly over the crystal, not onto the crystal. Lucky for me, I still have another trick up my sleeve. I am gifted with willpower. He who has strong willpower is a master of the earth, and he who is a master of the earth is a master of gravity. Amplify. Amplify the willpower. The surrounding gravity suddenly magnifies, pulling me down with a force so powerful I hit the floor almost as soon as I've cast the spell. Uh-oh, I heard something crack. Was that her crystal? All I can hear is the orchestra. Everything else has gone quiet. And then the audience, they erupt in cheers and applause. Yep, I think he busted one of her crystals. Good job, dude. Lord Frederick? I suppose I put on a good show. The wind is knocked out of me and I'm sore, but I get back on my feet. Wolf's crystal, I see, is in pieces. It broke my fall, and in turn, I broke it. One of her other two crystals seems to have been damaged by the scattering flames, but it wasn't broken. Her last crystal is undamaged. My own crystals were all damaged by the fire, but none have broken. This gives me the upper hand. If I can get to her damaged crystal, the match is mine. So it looks like he's taking the lead with that fire spell, if you would. Goodness, kid. What the hell were you thinking? She says. That's called scoring, little lady. Sometimes you have to sacrifice yourself for a point. A little pain never hurt anyone. Indeed. The old wizard slowly floats down between us, having used wind magic to distance himself from the stunt I pulled with the fire tornado. Nice reflexes, old man. Are you both able to continue? The old wizard asks. In fact, that old wizard just gave me an idea. Yes, I'm fine. So am I. Wolf faces me again. Her gaze is cold and emotionless, like it was at the start of the match. See you later, Brookie Bear. Have a good night's sleep, hon. I can't read anything on her face. Kind of like poker, huh? He's trying to figure out what she's going to do by looking at the expression on her face. That's what I gather from this. Kind of like poker players at a poker table kind of read each other's expressions and figure out what they're thinking. So she's a good poker player in this game and not giving him any clue as to what she's thinking or what she might have up her sleeve. It's like she's wearing a mask, except she isn't. On the contrary, it feels like she's absorbing everything about me. It's like she can read my soul. Uh-oh, that's not good. Well, I certainly won't give her time to read her feel. Quickly, I charge my next attack. Willpower. Transform. Transform willpower. I aim at the ground and cast a quake. The arena shakes furiously. And Wolf says, an earthquake? I'm sure this kind of magic would hardly do any damage to a mage at Wolf's level, but it doesn't have to. All it needs to do is delay her tornado for just a few moments while I recharge my willpower. As I expected, Wolf cast a tornado. But this time, nullify. So he's going to nullify her tornado this time. Casting nullify negates the gravity beneath my feet. My feet lift from the ground. When Wolf's tornado appears, I'm already high up in the air, this time readying both willpower and courage. The anti-gravity effect only lasts a short while, but all I needed was a few moments with a bird's eye view of the arena. She says. Didn't think I could do this, huh? Frederick says. Summon! Summon courage plus willpower. A flash of white light and a thunderous sound. A bolt of lightning shoots out from my palm. It rips through the air towards and then past Wolf, straight towards her damaged crystal. Victory is mine! What? Wolf just stands there, her cold eyes tracing the movement of the lightning bolt. She must have not expected this. So here he is up in the air. He casts this, a quake. She casts a tornado at him, and he lifts himself up, already knowing what he's going to do, gets up over the tornado to basically dodge it, and then casts a lightning bolt at her crystal that's already kind of damaged. She must not have expected this, huh? Wolf says, oh. In a fraction of a second, the lightning has struck the crystal dead on with another flash of blinding light and a loud bang. The light fades, the thunder dissipates, and I hit the ground with an unceremonious thud. Ignoring the pain, I force myself to stand up in order to accept victory from the referee. However, the referee hasn't moved. I look at the crystal and see that it's only slightly more cracked than before. What? Damn it, damn it, damn it! Wolf is standing, gaping at her damaged crystal. She seems almost as surprised as me. It's almost as if she were admiring what I just did. I straighten my posture and hear most of my joints crack. My muscles are burning. Well, I can just do it again. That was lucky. Sometimes these things happen. But the next bolt will shatter your crystal without fail. What are you gonna do, eh? Wolf just looks at me. Again with that cold stare. And those empty eyes. She is going to lose the match, but she doesn't look too worried. She doesn't look interested in the crystal as much as me. She is giving me the impression that the sorcerer match is beneath her. Who is this woman? Her gaze is off-putting. How can you keep so calm during sorcerer? Ha 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 ha! She starts laughing. Wow. Suddenly, she bursts out laughing. Ha 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 ha! You're crazy, and I like crazy. Especially that trick with a fire tornado. How'd you come up with something like that? Huh? Sorcerer is surprisingly amusing, I have to admit. Just as I thought, she's not a sorcerer player. Throughout the match, she has never once tried to score. She just defends herself and attacks me. What is she? So, what are you going to do now? Tornado again? Water magic? I bet you're running out of tricks. She smirks at me. Tricks? Kid, I don't use tricks. The only trick you need to know is to survive in this world. Is how to cheat death. I hate philosophy. I hate being talked to like I'm a child, and I hate being tricked. Wolf, he says, Wolf, you're wasting my time. I suspected you weren't a sorcerer from the beginning. Let's dispense with the charades. Use everything you've got in me. Go on. I won't be satisfied otherwise. And she's like, everything I got? Everything you've got. Wolf falls silent. Her amused expression disappears, replaced now with a familiar, cold, empty-eyed face again. There we go. Be careful what you wish for, my lord. Wolf stretches her arms and legs out wide. In her right hand, she gathers courage, and in her left, willpower. This is unusual. Hasn't she been using faith? She should only have 2 masteries, but she used intelligence before when she summoned water. Summon. Her right hand turns bright with a red light. Summon. Now her left hand turns bright with a yellow light. Wait, this isn't possible. She is preparing to cast 2 different magic spells at me at the same time. Wait, no. She's using combo magic like before, but by herself? Isn't that cheating? Is that even possible? Hey, he did tell her to give him everything that she had. Did he not? Amplify. Wolf makes a fist with her right hand. Amplify. And then with her left. Amplify summon willpower plus amplify summon courage. I look up to see a crack in the blackened sky. The sky? But wait a minute, we're indoors. Oh shit! But it looks transparent like the night. No, it's something like a portal. And coming through is an enormous flaming ball of molten rock. The object keeps growing and growing, and still it's not at the rim of the portal yet. It looks like it could be 40 feet across, 50, 60. I'm frozen. I've never seen something like this before. I'm going to die at my father's birthday celebration. I'm going to die. The old wizard says, stop! I turn to where the shout comes from and find our referee standing right in front of Wolf, his ears reddened and his wrinkles all curved into V's. What in the name of mana are you doing calling Meteor in a sport match against a 17-year-old kid? Meteor? That thing was Meteor? I've heard of this magic, but I never imagined I'd actually see it. I didn't think it could be summoned indoors. I glance up again, but the portal has disappeared, and with it, the meteor. Ha 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 ha, she starts laughing again. Wolf's laughter fills the stadium as she lowers her arms and releases all magic power. Sorry, Ref. Our little lordling demanded it. He did say, give me everything you got. That's funny. The old wizard just grunts in irritation. The whole stadium is silent. Even the orchestra has stopped playing. Everyone is waiting to see what this wolf will do next. And then, at last, from some distant seat, a man in the audience says, Bravo! Soon the whole crowd is roaring with an applause. Announcer says, "That was one hell of a match. I believe I speak for everyone when I say that we've all been treated to a superbly exciting show." Dragoon Commander Janice Wolfe with her incredibly powerful offensive magic, and Frederick Godwin, who impressively held his own against all odds, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's right, referee. What's the status of the match? The old wizard stays silent until the audience quiets down. I declare this match over. We'll call it for whoever has the most points. He turns and glances about the arena. The old wizard says, Wolf, 1 broken crystal. Godwin, no broken crystals. Frederick Godwin is the winner. The audience erupts. They shout, Frederick, Frederick, and clap like drunken monkeys. Wolf says, you did a good job, kid, but you were sloppy. But I'm surprised you lasted as long as you did. Not bad at all. I'm in a daze. I can neither respond to Wolf's congratulations or the announcer's questions when he comes in for the post-game interview. Soon, they both leave. I soon leave as well, though I really can't say how much time passes before I start to make my way out. Outside of the hexagon, my father is waiting for me. I can see by the look on his face that he isn't as excited as the rest of the people in the stadium. What kind of fighting was that? I won. Indeed, I've seen many battles, but inside the arena both inside the arena and out, I would not call tonight's match a victory. Sorcerer is won according to points, not damage incurred. Did I not do you proud on your birthday? Do you know why the thunder failed to shatter Wolf's crystal ball? Do you know why your fire was so easily extinguished by her water? He knows I know. I've heard these rhetorical questions all my life. He'll tell me whether I answer or not. Because fire and thunder depend on courage. But you are not gifted with courage. Your strongest magical traits are willpower and compassion. Look at his face. Why don't you ever use compassion-based magic? Heal is an infinitely useful spell. It's certainly a much better choice than fire and thunder, for heaven's sake. If you would just play the damn game slowly, healing yourself when you had to, you could have made this into a match, into a battle of endurance. In such a contest, he who has compassion always has the advantage. You could have beaten Wolf if you would have just used your head. I could have beaten her. In other words, I didn't. Compassion is useless. I'm doing just fine with courage, and I did beat her. Oh, is that so? My father's face makes a pitying smile. What about Wolf? She was using faith and intelligence in the beginning, but that meteor was willpower and courage. Janice Wolfe is the commander of a police special forces unit who's been in countless battles, real battles, for more than a decade. Her gifted traits are willpower and courage, but she can wield all magic with deadly force. A special forces commander? Well, that explains many things. So her gifted traits are willpower and courage, but she was going to only use wind and water magic on me? She was simply playing with me. I just need to get out of here. Wow, so he's embarrassed all of a sudden. Dino says, man, he is mad for his son winning. Wow, what a dad. I storm out of the Sorcerer Stadium through the departing spectators. And the guest says, Lord Frederick, best fight I ever saw. Unbelievable, Lord Frederick. You beat a Dragoon Commander. The fire tornado strategy was brilliant. That match was historic. Lord Frederick, you'll be a great mage someday. Their words are meaningless. What does a lord care for the opinions of those below him? Peasants and bastards, the whole damn lot of them. Wow. And that, guys, is the start of an octave higher. This is a really good visual novel, I believe. I want to finish it. Like I said, I haven't finished it. Like I say, I got about probably 3.5 hours into this game 2 years ago when I was doing Let's Plays of it, but I really want to finish it this time. We're going to go ahead and continue reading at this point for a little bit longer. So, Wednesday, 24th Sextilis, AM 3:13. Okay, so Wednesday, is that like Wednesday? I don't know. So Sextilis is a month, the 24th of Sextilis. We're obviously on a different planet. 3:13 in the morning, huh? Okay. Hey, Rodrigo, how you doing, man? Students say, "Good afternoon, Professor." Good afternoon, class. The students are goggling at me, probably wondering why their teacher looks awfully young and is wearing the same school uniform as them. Your teacher for this course is Professor Johann Poe. I am not, however, Professor Johann Poe. Fran says, my name is Franz Byron. I'm a senior, and Professor Poe is the advisor of my capstone project. I was asked to stand in for the professor today during his absence. I think it's best not to mention that this is the first time I've ever taught a class. I told the professor as much in protest, but he said I could just say whatever I want and say about magic. Well, let's see how this goes. Okay, remember guys, this is a different guy. This is not the Frederick guy that we were just talking about that had the sorcerer match against the lady. This is a totally different guy, and he's doing his first class ever, lecturing the class. Welcome to Introduction to Magical Science. It sounds harmless enough, right? Well, maybe so, but by the end of the semester, you will have encountered almost every topic that you will be studying in detail over the next 4 years. So you should probably open your notebooks. As half the freshmen scramble for a pen and paper, I wonder what kind of student my professors thought I would become. These days I'm regarded as being very analytical, but how much of that was due to my own effort, and how much was due to the gauntlet that is Introduction to Magical Suffering, as we used to call it. Just think, 3 months ago, these freshmen were still middle school students, oblivious to the woes and worries of the world. 4 short years ago, I was the same as them. Well, they knew what they were getting themselves into when they decided to study the science of magic in a conservatoire. Hey, welcome, Rodrigo. How you doing, man? The class has finally quieted down. It's time to start my first lesson. So, magic. I'm sure everyone here has used it before. As long as you have a bit of mana in you, you can use magic. You, in the front row. I chose a girl at random. So, when was the first time you ever cast a spell? Girl says, I think when I was 7, I touched the wick of a candle, and it started burning. Congratulations, you're normal. Some freshmen are giggling even though I wasn't actually trying to be funny. Most people unconsciously start using magic as a child and learn how to control it as they grow up. But although you can use magic now, you probably don't know how you're able to do that, or why some of you are good with fire magic while some of you are better with water magic, or why you can sometimes cast a particular spell but have no idea how to do it again. Well, that's what we call the science of magic. It's a kind of a roadmap that we've made that will help you better understand these things. I stop and observe the freshmen. They seem interested enough in the subject. Well, maybe. Now that I'm up here, it's really hard to tell who's genuinely interested and who's just staring right through me. As you all know, there are 5 magical traits that a human can have. These are courage, intelligence, willpower, faith, and compassion. Any magic is based on one or a combination of those traits. For example, water magic is based on intelligence. In addition, there are 4 types of magical abilities that can act on those 5 traits. They are summon, amplify, nullify, and transform. Now don't confuse magical traits with magical abilities. Remember, the abilities use the traits. The act of applying a magical ability is called invocation. So let's return to our water magic example. The most basic water magic is, of course, to make water appear. Hey Falconer, how you doing? Axel, how you doing? Welcome everybody. Whether you want to attack an enemy or to water your houseplants, the principle is the same. The water spell is cast by invoking the summon ability on the intelligence trait. I pick up a piece of chalk and write a magic formula onto the background. Water equals summon intelligence. This is what we call a magic formula, and this one defines the formula of our simple water spell. You read that as invoke the summon ability using the power of intelligence. I face a freshman again. It's really one of the simplest magic formulae. It only requires one invocation. Summon is the most basic of magical abilities. If a magic spell makes any kind of physical matter appear or materialize, it almost certainly involves summon. Now fire is summon on courage. Wind is summon on faith. Don't worry, you'll have these memorized by next week. And then there's amplify, which is used to increase the aspect of your magic, to make it stronger, faster, or larger. For example, a magician can increase the force of gravity by invoking amplify on willpower. Or, for example, a more common use of amplify is to strengthen a summon spell. I write a new formula below the water spell, or the water formula. Flood equals amplify water, which equals amplify summon intelligence. Essentially, flood is a stronger version of water. So, say you invoke summon on intelligence. If, before you release the magic from your hand, you invoke an amplify on top of it, you will cast flood instead of water. Well, I'm sure this all sounds simple, but in practice, chaining 2 different abilities together like this is considered a high-level technique. The girl's like, The girl I spoke to earlier raises her hand. I've always assumed that the stronger version of water is ice. A common misconception. Ice is in fact a much more complex magic spell. It's something we call combination magic, or combo magic, because it involves more than one trait. To cast ice, you have to combine water, which is based on intelligence, and freeze, which is based on courage. I erase the blackboard and write the magic formula of ice. Ice equal water plus freeze, summon intelligence plus nullify courage. As you can see from the formula, there are 2 invocations that are combined to cast this spell. Oh, and nullify is just the opposite of amplify, if you were wondering. It makes something become less. Some of the freshmen look confused. Well guys, no pain, no gain. If this formula looks complicated, take a look at this. If you wanted to make your ice spell even stronger, Ice Storm, amplify ice, amplify the summon intelligence and nullify of courage. Or if Ice Storm wasn't good enough for you, there's always a Blizzard. Blizzard equal Ice Storm plus wind. Oh wow. Pretty cool. I mean, this is pretty interesting. Alright. The freshmen look grim as I put down the chalk. Some of them might be having second thoughts about taking magical science as their major. Don't panic. It's really not that complicated once you understand the basics. The bell rings. The sound of the bell has an effect on the freshman, akin to a revive spell. That's funny. I revived it. The bell revived him. That's not too far off the mark, come to think of it. The sound of the bell is produced by a magic machine that summons wind to ring a small bell and then amplifies the resulting sound wave. That's actually really cool. He's sitting there talking about all this magic. So this is obviously like a magical world they live on, guys. And the freshman that he's talking to in this class, he says they seem to get revived from the sound of the bell. But then he talks about how the bell in this school is actually created by using magic. The bell itself is produced by a magic machine, and the magic machine summons wind to ring the bell, and then amplifies that sound wave, so it's loud. That's cool. Oh, that's right. I didn't even mention magic machines. The study of magic machines belongs to the magical engineering department, but us magical scientists are expected to understand the basic principles of their design and function. Well, I'll leave that to Professor Poe, assuming he doesn't make me do this again. I follow the freshmen out of the classroom. I'm as happy as they are that the lessons ended. I'm really not cut out for teaching, I don't think. I know that Professor Poe is busy preparing for the symposium tomorrow, but how could he just push the job to me? What did he see in me? Speaking of the symposium, I remember that I have my own preparations to make. Professor Poe wants me to discuss the research that I'm doing for my final year project. My project, it's hopeless if you ask me. But tomorrow I need to sell the idea to a room full of professionals. The annual symposium held in Conservatoire d'Ouverture is not a mere school event, even though it takes place in a conservatory. Is it conservatoire or conservatory? It's probably conservatory. It will be attended by many renowned mages from across Ouverture. So Ouverture is obviously the lands of the world they live on. After all, this is the most prestigious school of magical science and engineering in the city. Ouverture is the city they live in, okay. I don't know what people will think when they see a teenager presenting a school project in the symposium. I mean, I haven't even started the project yet. I stride down the hallway towards the main entrance, paying little attention to the dwindling masses of students. It really is a beautiful institution. In a few hours, these halls will be entirely empty. At such times, you would be hard-pressed to identify this place as a school. The conservatory is as elegant as a lord's mansion. I recognize some of my classmates in the hallway, but I'm not close enough with any of them to bother with greetings or such niceties. Well, that's hardly surprising. We're just strangers who happen to be sharing the same road in life. After this year, we'll go on our own separate ways. Hey, friends! Well, here comes an outlier. I turn in the direction of the cheerful female voice. And the girl says, Franz, where have you been? I thought you didn't have classes in the afternoon today. I know I said that I'm not close with most students here, but there are exceptions. Hi, Aretha. Have you been looking for me? This is Aretha Blyton. Aretha says, Yes, Franz, I've been looking everywhere for you. I was dying to see you. Look at her face. Is she laughing? I think she's being sarcastic. What do you guys think? Oh, the video's looking very amazing. Minnie, I can't wait to see it, man. No, she's not my girlfriend. Don't worry, love. I'm here for you now. Again, more sarcasm, it sounds like. Sounds like they're having fun. I repeat, not my girlfriend. Aretha says, So, where have you been? Around. And where have you been looking? The cafeteria. And? Just the cafeteria. You were just having your afternoon tea, weren't you? Bingo! You know me so well, don't you? Ah ha 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 ha. You're just easy to read. Ha 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 ha. That's funny. Aretha has this particular way of laughing her heart out that's just pleasant to watch and makes you want to laugh along with her. I mean, even guys, I gotta admit, even looking at that face, that art there, even that art there makes me want to laugh. Who can look at this picture and get a smile on their face? Come on, guys. Who can look at this girl here, this art here, this girl laughing, and almost smile? At least smile by looking at it, if not wanting to laugh. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. We started walking. I was teaching a class. Professor Poe asked me to fill in for him. Oh, cool. It's really not that exciting. Are you sure? I bet you were checking out all the girls. Was I? I might have. The class did have its fair share of cuties. I'm not a pervert like you, Aretha. Uh-huh. But you thought some of them were cute, didn't you? Am I blushing? Maybe she is not the only one who is easy to read. Uh-oh. She made him blush. It's almost sundown when we leave the conservatory building. There are more people outside than inside, most of whom are getting ready to go home. When she was laughing, she had the teeth of a vampire, he said. While we're walking toward the street outside the conservatory courtyard, a girl I don't recognize notices us and waves. Alright guys, hang on just a second here. Let me go ahead before I continue this with any more I gotta figure out. Let's go ahead and create new data, save. Just in case I lose it here, guys. In fact, let me go ahead and exit to the title. Yes. We will pick up there again in just a minute, guys. Exit. Before I pronounce this word wrong 747 times, let me see if I can conserve. Tory, I think that's how it was. I think that's how it said. Conservatory. Here we go.
Conservatoire.
Conservatoire. See, I was pronouncing it wrong. Conservatoire.
Conservatoire.
Conservatoire. I was saying conservatoire at first, and then conservatory. It's conservatoire.
Conservatoire.
Okay. And it means it's British for a college for the study of classical music or other arts. So obviously this conservatoire in this game is for the study of magic. Cool. All right, so see, we learned something there, guys. All right, let me go back to an octave higher here. Where is it? I don't know. Let me go back to Steam. All right, we're going to continue here. We're going to leave a little bit more. We're almost at an hour in, guys. While we're walking towards the street outside the conservatoire's courtyard, a girl I don't recognize notices us and waves. She is wearing the same uniform as Aretha, which means she is a magical engineering student. Must be one of Aretha's friends. And Aretha says, "Hey!" Aretha greets the girl. And the girl says, "Hi, Aretha. Going home?" "No, Franz was just taking me out on a date." Look at her face, laughing again. Aretha makes wild gestures to suggest how romantic this all is. I was? Aretha drops her package in a hurry. "Actually, yes, I'm going home." "Oh, good. Are you kidding me?" The girl chuckles at Aretha's little joke, and they start chatting. Aretha certainly has social skills. She's the kind of person who can make friends naturally with almost anyone. Sometimes I wish I could too. But then again... "Okay, bye then," she says. Girl says, see you tomorrow, Aretha. The girl turns to me. Bye, friends. Bye. The girl walks away after saying her goodbyes. Do I know her? I ask Aretha. Maybe. Wouldn't you remember someone you've met? Not at all. I often meet people whom I don't know, but who seem to know me. Ah, this is why you don't have many friends. Now look at her face. A face of empathy about him not having many friends and why he doesn't have friends. Alright. Well, maybe she knows you because you're famous. Uh-oh, she's getting sarcastic again. I'm famous? Aren't you the top student in the Department of Magical Science? There is no denying that my intelligence has helped me earn good grades. I may or may not have been named that at one time. These days, though, it's more likely that Professor Poe and my research project that's causing a buzz. Outside the conservatoire, the street is crowded with people who have just finished work and are jostling to go home. Look at all these flying cars and buses and stuff, guys. That's pretty cool. Aretha and I come across the street to a crowded omnibus stop. We get in line behind a dozen other people. Aretha stands in front of me. Isn't the line a little too long? She turns back to face me. That can't be helped, it's rush hour. Across the street, just outside the conservatoire, I see a student picked up by a personnel chauffeur in a carriage. He gets into the carriage and plops down in the back seat, while the driver sits in front. Once he is comfortable, his driver uses faith magic to manipulate the wind around the vehicle. The carriage floats into the air and presumably off towards home. I want my own carriage too, Aretha says. I give Aretha a look that says, who doesn't? Oh, Franz, you're gifted in faith, aren't you? Well, yeah, but I don't own a carriage. Well, at least you'll be able to fly one of these. At least you'll be able to fly one of those one day. Oh, I know. When I get a carriage, you'll drive me around, okay? Ha ha ha. Anything to make you happy, my dear. Then you'll buy me a carriage? You know what, though? I guess I should look for a girlfriend rich enough to have her own carriage. Aretha tries to fake a sulky pout, but the corners of her lips are slightly raised. A different kind of carriage whizzes by. At its back sit a man and a woman, while the driver, again, sits in front. Unlike the previous carriage, however, in this one the driver isn't controlling the air movement directly. Instead, he simply places a hand on a metal pad. Well, you could always get one of those magic machine carriages. Uh-huh. There's that option too. You don't need to be gifted in faith to drive one of those kind of carriages because the magic machine will do the summoning. But I'd still rather make you my driver. Huh, she says with a wide grin. A few seconds pass and another carriage flies along the street. And then another. More people come and stand behind me. It's hot and stuffy in this crowd, even though we're outside. At last, we see an omnibus turn a corner and head our way. Its flying platform is designed to carry 36 passengers at most, but it's packed to the brim. There's no chance that we'd fit on there. I told you it'd be crowded. And I told you this is normal, Franz. It's rush hour. Aretha is right. At this hour, the omnibus is full of people, or full of proles. The proletariats coming home from the factory. Proletariats. I don't feel like standing here. Let's just go. You're very snobby for someone who can afford a carriage, who can't afford a carriage. So you're very snobby for someone who can't even afford a carriage. Look, I have nothing against proles. I just don't find the idea of standing on a bus platform with more than 4 dozen other people terribly exciting. You have the attitude of an aristocrat. I don't know whether it's good or bad. Ha 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 ha. So I guess this is the driver of this omnibus. Look at him up here. Magic rules everything in this world they live in. Zax's voice sounds majestic, Minnie. Zaxter's reading. I knew that voice sounded way too familiar. Falconer says, I thought this game actually had built-in audio for a minute, but Zaxter's reading. I know that voice because it sounds too familiar. Yeah, that would be cool if this had a automated, like if it had a built-in audio. And he's like, fake it till you make it, right? We head in the direction of an aristocratic neighborhood. The proles don't commute through that area, so the omnibus won't be as crowded. I look up and see the dimming orange of the western sky. The sun has just now set. And as the city darkens, a man in a uniform walks to a nearby pole on the sidewalk. When he gets there, he raises his hand and points to the top of the pole. A ball of amber light appears and hovers a few inches above the pole, illuminating its surrounding area. So it goes across Overture every night. That worker is one of the illuminators employed by the government to brighten the city streets. If you catch the right omnibus at rush hour, you can see the results of hundreds of these illuminators' efforts. Overture slowly starts to twinkle as you glide over the city. The city's modern look and its clean, almost shiny, multi-storied buildings and brick-paved streets are teeming with flying carriages. There are magicians everywhere, and magic machines are installed on every street corner. Is pronounced like proletariat? Proletariat? Let me look at that. Let me look at that, dude. Hang on. Proletariat. Did I pronounce that wrong? Probably did.
Proletariat.
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 Proletariat. I think that's close to what I was saying. Overture is glorious, not just the city of magic, the city of magic. So Overture is the city, and it's a magic city. It's getting late. We should walk faster, Aretha says. Aretha pulls out her chronometer and checks the time. Chronometer. It's chronometer. Chronometer. Aretha pulls out her chronometer and checks the time. The air inside the chronometer is continuously in motion to keep the minute hand and the weightier hour hand rotating. These hands stay accurate all day as long as the chronometer is charged with mana every morning. She puts the metal timepiece back inside her pocket. So, since you're in magical engineering, I guess your final year project is related to magic machines. Aretha's eyes seem to sparkle at the mention of her final project. Of course, I already have a title for it. Application of binary logic and arithmetic in magic machines. What? Application of binary logic and arithmetic in magic machines. She recited the title in a single breath. Yeah, I heard you the first time, but what the heck is that? You don't understand? And I thought you were the smart one. I understand the words, but to me that sounds like you're trying to get a magic machine to do math. Bingo! You're the first person to guess it right away, Franz. Aretha is beaming. Apparently she's proud of this idea. Aretha thinks that's preposterous. It is not. And look who's talking. Aretha is right to call me out. The topic Professor Poe convinced me to undertake is even sillier than magical math. Well, I guess we're in the same boat, sort of. So, which professor forced you into this? Oh, no. You misunderstand. I chose that topic myself. Huh? Aretha, we truly are star-crossed. You've committed to the academic equivalent of a suicide by choosing your hopeless topic, whereas I'm about to be murdered by mine. We'll be factory workers within a year. Squinting away my smartassery, Aretha continues. It's really not impossible. The magic word, ahem, here is binary. So, we're used to doing numerical calculations in groups of 10. We have 10 fingers and 10 toes, right? This is called a base 10 numeral system. But actually, there's no rule that says you must use base 10. For example, there's something else called a base 2 numeral system. It turns out that we can mathematically define simple arithmetic operations such as the addition of two binary numbers as combinations of base logical operations like and, or, and not. In order to succeed with my final project, all I have to do is figure out how to implement these basic logic operations within a magic machine. I think I'll be able to do that by manipulating the flow of fire and water. If I can make fire represent true value and water represent a false value, then I have my two values, a binary system. Whoa, you do realize I'm a magical scientist, right? We don't think in numbers. Listen, Franz, what I'm saying is, I may be able to make a calculator machine, powered by magic. That sentence just doesn't make any sense. Ha, that's okay. You'll come to discover and understand my genius someday. Again, look at that face. I don't tell her this, but if Aretha is confident about her project, it's probably going to be a success. It's easy to forget because of what a whimsical character she is, but Aretha is a very intelligent person, and when she puts her mind on something, she has the willpower to see it through to the end. Well, if she can make magic do math, then maybe I don't need to worry too much about my own impossible project. Finally, we reach the omnibus stop. Before long, an omnibus arrives. As I thought, it's nearly empty. This one is heading towards my house. Aretha and I normally go home on the same omnibus, but the buses at this stop travel in different routes, so we need to part our ways here. Well, take care. Say hello to Dr. Blyton for me. I will do. We'll see you tomorrow. She waves to me goodbye before stepping on to the omnibus. As our omnibus pulls away, I take a deep breath and look around. This neighborhood is slightly nicer than my own. It would be nice to own a house in a place like this someday. A young man rounds a corner off in the distance. Even from here, I can see that he's dressed magnificently. But the only reason I notice him is from his stride. He looks angry. It's quite unusual to see a man of such high social standing walking alone on the street. Usually they don't bother to walk anywhere, since they have their own chauffeurs. His strides are long and fast. He's virtually stomping down the street, and his face is in a long scowl. It would be wise to avoid his attention, I think. So I must have been walking for more than an hour now, but no matter how far I've gone, I still can't calm down. So we switched roles, guys. We switched from Franz. We were just in Franz's, we were playing his role, and now we've switched the, what is it, point of view, the POV, for these kind of things. A lot of you ladies I know like to read your whatever Cosmo magazine stories where it shows his point of view, her point of view, whatever. I've seen those kind of things before. So now our point of view is from the Lord Godwin, not Godwin, Lord Godwin's son, Lord, what was his name? Francisco? Well, I forgot. How's it going? Ryan, what's up, dude? Shade, welcome, welcome. Fire Kirby, hey Zax, I'm finally home. Good to sleep to a story. So you're gonna go to sleep? AJ says, doesn't look that magic to me. Let me catch up on the chat here for a minute, guys. I agree it would be great if this game did have it, a built-in audio, but you're doing a great job reading. Oh, thanks, Falconer. I've been told I'm pretty good at reading these visual novels, but I've done a few of them. Some of these words, I'm not, like, I haven't read a whole lot of books in my life. The funny thing is I just recently, I probably read more since I've started my YouTube account than I've ever read in my whole life. I mean, I've read maybe a dozen, maybe 24 books in my life, so I'm definitely not a master of reading. There's a lot of words that I come across that I don't know how to pronounce when I should, etc. But anyway, hopefully I can get the point across. Ryan says, doing nothing, just got home from work. Yeah, I've been in planes all day, tired as hell. Oh yeah, I can understand work can definitely drain you, and going on a plane ride can definitely drain you. I understand that, Fire Kirby. Alright, so I must have been walking for more than an hour now, but no matter how far I've gone, I still can't... Okay, so now we are back to Frederick. That was his name. Lord Frederick. This is the guy that started off the very interesting, dramatic match of Sorcerer, it was called, where two mages competed against each other to try to break 2 of the 3 crystals on the opponent's side. If you guys didn't watch that, definitely watch this afterwards to go back and watch the start of it. This visual novel definitely starts off with a bang, with a very entertaining match between two magicians, if you would, in a game they call Sorcerer. So now we're going back to Frederick, who basically beat a girl in Sorcerer. He thought he was going to whip this girl at Sorcerer, but it turned out his father had pitted him against this female who was... It looked like an attempt to embarrass his son. And now his son's not real happy that he basically got humiliated by a girl. Even though he won the game, he was pretty much outmatched by a girl that was just playing games with him and basically trolling him, if you would. Yeah, imagine getting trolled in Dead by Daylight to the mass, you know, massively trolled. And I think that's how this Frederick feels right now. And he's mad. He stormed out after talking to his father. And his father kind of scorned him for getting whooped by a girl, even though he won. So anyway, I must have been walking for more than an hour now. No matter how far I've gone, I still can't calm down. My fingers ache from being clenched into fists for so long. My palms sting from where my nails have dug into them. Damn, he's mad. His fingers are... Can you imagine that, being so mad that your fingers are aching from being clenched into fists for that long? And then your palms have... He's clenching his fist so tight that his palms, his fingernails are digging into his palms. Damn, this guy's pissed. Ryan says, I had to work on 15 acres of land today, 150 trees. It took 8 hours to complete. Oh my gosh, sounds like a lot of work, Ryan. I bet you're tired, dude. Nope, not going to play Dead by Daylight this stream, dude. We'll do Dead by Daylight probably tomorrow in my Games of Our Lives. Okay, so Frederick's talking to himself here. He's like, relax, Frederick, relax. It was just a stupid sorcerer match. It wasn't a regulation match. You technically won. The only thing that's bothering you is that your father didn't see it as a victory, the way the rest of the whole city did. It doesn't matter what he thinks. Right, it just doesn't matter. I'm still the best sorcerer there is. I'm the highest ranked player in a generation. I faced off against a trained soldier, and I won, by the way. If father could have just held his tongue, I don't mind advice, but to call it a loss of all things, it was just a stupid sorcerer match. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It does not. Like hell it doesn't. I'm going to bury that whore next time. Janice Wolf, mark my words, woman. I will remember you. I will not forget this insult. Yeah, I'd say he is, I'd say he's definitely pissed. Humiliation for you, Janice Wolf. Yeah, he wants to bury her. He already won. He already beat her, but he's mad that his father scorned him for basically getting humiliated by a girl with her. I think she had, it sounded like she had a lot more powerful magic than he did and kind of outsmarted him. She wasn't even trying to win. She was just trying to mess with him. Not for me. And that meteor spell that she... Oh, yeah, she was going to throw a meteor at him. Because, remember, he basically said, come on, girl, give me your best shot when he had almost had the game won. And then she was about to launch, like, a super powerful meteor spell that he had never even seen or heard of before. Well, he'd heard of it, but he'd never seen it before. And she was about to launch this meteor spell that could have killed him. It actually said his words. He was like, it's going to kill me. She's going to kill me. But then the referee of the match basically said stop and had to stop that spell. So that's probably why he's so humiliated, that she had the power to kill him. So even though he won the game, she had the freaking power to kill him in that game. And he's like, that meteor spell, God, of course. I would have flattened her with that meteor if I could have studied the technique. But that it wasn't banned by regulation. Rules, woman. It was a sorcerer match. What was a commander of a goddamn special forces unit doing in a sorcerer match? Father did this to spite me. I know it. I thought I would make him happy by performing on for his birthday celebration, but apparently he only wanted to humiliate me for his own sick entertainment. The pavement under my feet is sticky. The ball of light above that pole glares too much. The sound of music coming out of the cafe across the street is off-key. That omnibus pulled up to the stop too steeply, and that conservatoire student getting on the omnibus looks like a blithering idiot. Oh, wow. So, guys, this is the Lord Frederick. He's basically talking about, he's pissed about everything. But now he's basically saying this Franz guy, the guy that we were just looking at his point of view, he's basically saying that conservatoire student getting on the omnibus looks like a blithering idiot. Wow. What the hell is it with all these damn people pissing me off today? Huh. Yeah, he's furious. I just keep going wherever my feet take me. Occasionally people stare at me, but I manage to ignore them. What? Have they not seen a lord before? But I stop. Something occurs to me. I try to take in my surroundings, but there's barely anything to take in. I am practically standing on dirt. The ground grinds beneath my feet. I can feel it when I walk. There are no balls of light that illuminate this alley. If it wasn't for the oil lamps hung widely apart on the wall, the area would be utterly dark. There are no flying carriages. There are no omnibuses. The street is silent. Only little murmurs from people nearby can be faintly heard. The people around me are wearing clothes that aren't fit for modern civilization. I'm not in Overture anymore. At least not the Overture that I know. Something feels wrong here. I should turn around and go back to the city, back to my father's mansion. But remember, he's mad at his father. But I don't turn back. Frederick Godwin doesn't turn back for anything. I start walking again, now more conscious of where I'm going. I am, after all, treading on foreign land. So he's just so mad, he's just walking and walking and walking. And so now he's in the slums of the city, basically. He's still in Overture, but he's in the ghetto, basically. Where poor people live. Wherever I walk, people's heads turn. No doubt, they have never seen a lord before up close. A little boy tries to approach me, but his mother quickly stops him. They're both dressed in little more than mere rags. Finally, I understand what that feeling of wrongness was. It wasn't the filth or the darkness. It was something much more fundamental than that. There's no magic here. Oh, wow. So it's not just the filth and the dirtiness and the poverty here. He's like, there's no magic here. They probably can't afford it. None of these people use magic. There are no magic machines in sight. That's probably why there's no omnibuses either. What's going on here? I've never felt so out of place before. And then one of the guys says, look, it's an aristocrat. There are people murmuring all around. This comment was said loud enough for me to hear. It was intentional. And I stop and I turn. The man who just spoke is dressed somewhat differently from the others. I wouldn't say he's dressed better than anyone else, but somehow he stands out. He's wearing a uniform of some kind. Another man in a similar outfit stands beside him, watching me. The two men come nearer to me. The man speaks again. Hey, kid, what are you doing in this place? Are you lost? I look down at the man. Notice it says that right there, I look down at the man, like he's nothing. I look down at the man. Who is he to question me? A gutsy Bourget. Bourgeois. Is it Bourgeois? Bourget? Bourgeois. I don't know. What does that even mean? Let me find out, guys. Let me find out what that freaking even means. Bourgeois. Because I think I looked this up 2 years ago, but maybe not. I remember the word. Make sure I'm pronouncing it right for one.
Bourgeois.
Bourgeois. It's bourgeois. And it means a person whose political, economic, or social opinions are believed to be determined mainly by concern for property values and conventional respectability. Basically, middle class. A member of the middle class. And it's pronounced bourgeois. Okay, we'll keep that up. Bourgeois. See, are you guys learning anything? I know I am. A bourgeois is a middle class. A gutsy bourgeois is what he said. So he's calling this Frederick guy a gutsy bourgeois. Hasn't anyone told you not to wander into prole areas? Haven't you ever heard of Libertad? They don't have bourgeois like you. Proles, I see. Of course, this is where the proletariat lives. No wonder there is no magic. It's not that they can't use magic, they just don't have the money to buy mana potions. Everyone knows that the proles are the dregs of society. But he's mentioned something called Libertad. I have not heard of that group. He said Libertad hates people like me. Huh, are you Libertad? Oh, wow. This time, they're the ones who stay quiet, but I can tell that the answer is yes. So they hate me? Well then, I'll hate them right back. I start infusing a willpower to the mana in my body and expel as much magical aura as the mana generates. All of a sudden, I'm the brightest thing on the street. Let that be a warning for them. Alright, see you later, Minnie, for the amazing stream. See you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have the montage done soon. That sounds great, Minnie. I can't wait to see it. Falconer says, this is a good story. I like seeing different views of people. Yeah, it is interesting. I agree, Falconer. See you later, Minnie. Thanks for being here. Alright, guys. Looks like we're fixing to have some action here. And the Libertan is, doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything about, maybe he's startled at the fact that he basically used mana to make himself glow. The man who started talking to me seems ready to fight, but the other Libertad member speaks to him in a low voice. Libertan 2, not here. There are people everywhere. Heeding his friend's words, the first man relaxes his posture, though his glare remains fierce. Understood. He walks away, clicking his tongue. The second man tries to stare me down for a second. His eyes seem to carry higher authority than the first man's, but then he too turns around and follows his friend. I watch the two of them head into an alley. Soon, they're enveloped in the shadows of the close-packed buildings, and I can't see them anymore. Ignoring the Pearl's increasingly audible whispers, I continue walking along the dimly lit street. Before my encounter with Libertad, the Pearls were looking at me curiously. Now they turn their heads away or cast their eyes down whenever I walk near. I try not to look at them either, keep closing my eyes on the path ahead. I'm not afraid of anyone, but I also don't want to cause a scene needlessly. After a few blocks, I come across a narrow space between two buildings. It is only wide enough for one person to walk through, and it is almost completely black in there. However, there is light coming from the far end of the alley, and with it comes the sounds of people laughing and singing. I come closer to see an arrow-shaped sign pointing into the alley. It reads, Bavor? How do you pronounce that? All these, like, French words and stuff like that, I do not know how to pronounce, guys. I'm sorry. I don't want to pronounce these wrong. No. Yeah, it is a French word.
Une maison.
What?
Une maison. Une maison.
Maison. Maison. Maison. Maison.
Mizzle?
Maison.
Mizzen.
Maison.
Maison. Maison, okay. Maison. D before. Alright, I'm gonna go with that, guys. Anyway, Maison. D before. So anyway, I come closer to an arrow-shaped sign pointing into an alley. It reads, Maison D before. Since I don't see anything more interesting around, I enter the alley and look for this maison. Not only is the alley dark, but it also stinks. It's hard to believe that there is a place like this in Overture, mere miles from where my family lives. I stumble over an old man sleeping in the alley. He is virtually cocooned in rags and trash, and rattles off more bewildered moans as I walk over him. How anyone could sleep at as filthy a place as here, I'll never know. I quickened my pace. I didn't think the poor were quite so destitute. Outside the alley, I see a mansion that looks like a quite out of place amid the dirty and broken houses. There are signs of wear and tear, but it still looks luxurious in comparison. And to my surprise, I see a group of gentlemen who obviously aren't proles entering the establishment. They might even be fellow lords, judging from the way they're dressed. Okay. Second, guys. Once they're at the front door, a scantily clad middle-aged woman emerges from the inside of the mansion and greets them. Despite showing too much skin, the woman's dress is that of a lady. She talks with a gentleman for a few seconds and gestures them inside. As she goes to follow them inside, however, she notices my presence. She approaches me with a seductive smile. Uh-oh. I'm disgusted by it, to be honest. Makeup is caked on her face to hide her years, but even in the dim light of the courtyard, I can see she's old enough to be my mother. Why, hello there, young man. Welcome you to my home, the Maison de Beauvoir. This is your house? Yes, and you may call me Madame Beauvoir. She says this with a flourish. I can tell it's a drunken flourish, or one of those flourishes you have to practice at. I wanted to say nice to meet you, but it is only really nice if... She brings her lips close to my ears and lowers her voice to a whisper. You come inside. She pulls her face back after softly blowing into my ears. It makes my eyebrows twitch and my nose wrinkle. What is this place? Oh, what do you mean, darling? The woman is stunned for a moment, and then she starts laughing. Ha ha ha! Are you for true? How did you get here, little boy? She stops laughing, stares at me sharply, and whispers again in her broken but not unpleasant accent. You want to know what kind of place is my house? Do you now? I don't answer her because I feel like she is mocking me. Besides, I'm starting to get a pretty good idea. It's where we turn little boys like you into real men. Oh, wow. She gestures at me with her shoulders and flashes a naughty smile. Some people might call it sexy. I wouldn't. So, you want to come in? No, not interested. I try to leave, but then Madame grabs my wrist. Oh no, you haven't even come in and seen the other girls. Don't worry, young little lord. I have all kinds of girls in my maison. Some of them will suit your high taste, I promise, hee hee. She's a very insistent saleswoman. I got to admit that it is rather tempting to just go in and look around. But no, after tonight, I need to be more disciplined, not less. I'm not going to spend any time with these filthy whores. Besides, the gentlemen I saw earlier looked like they might be lords. If my father should hear about my being here, he would put me in a cemetery in the neighborhood kingdom in a heartbeat. No, now get your hand off me, woman. Ah, well that's too bad, but why don't you take this? She hands me a teeny piece of paper. So you can find your way back here someday, huh? She saunters back to the door. Before going inside, she turns and blows me a kiss. I deign the wave back. The kiss was disgusting, to be honest. After she's gone, I just stand staring at the Maison. The street outside is brightened by the light seeping out of Maison's windows and made lively by the sounds of women coming from inside. There's laughing, shouting, moaning. Maison's address is scribbled on the paper the woman gave me. I won't ever come back here, but I put the paper inside my pocket anyway. This town can't afford to be even dirtier than it already is. That's why he didn't drop the piece of paper on the ground. Wow. The sky is black now. The moon and the stars aren't visible from where I'm standing. There is only blackness. Strange enough, there is a certain grandness one can feel from the pure blackness. It looks majestic. The dark sky reminds me how late it is. It's time I went home. And just as I turn to leave, however, my eyes fall on an angel. A very lovely girl strolls through this unseemly street as if it were the most natural thing in the world. She smiles with an ease that makes her seem brighter than all the lights in the Maison. Her delicate hand plays lightly with a small braid of hair running behind her right ear. Is this girl also a worker at the Maison? Isn't she a little young? Besides, she isn't dressed like a harlot. But there are no other reasons for a young girl to visit a place like this. Maybe she's just passing through? I keep watching the little angel, how she steps, how her arms swing so carefree, and how her hair flutters as she walks, how her face glitters with an easy happiness even in this slum. She's freaking beautiful. No, it's more than that. I've beheld beauty itself. Finally, she stops right at the Maison's door, and without knocking, she takes the door's handle, pushes the door open, and steps inside. And now, we are taking the point of view of her. I'm home. I announce that in a very small voice. Saying I'm home is a habit I've had since I was a little kid, but I don't really like saying it in this particular house. Young woman says, Kaya, help me! A young woman runs across the lobby screaming. She's naked. An old man's like, I'm gonna get you. And then a man twice her age runs after her. He's naked too, of course. I don't know what kind of role-playing they're doing today. I'm not going to be asking. Oh, Elise, you're back. How was your work? I turn to see the woman who called my name. It's Madame Beauvoir. Oh, you know, same as usual. That sounds like my day. Business as usual. Yeah, I can see that. Unfortunately, naked old men chasing naked screaming girls is a business as usual here at the Maison. Madame Beauvoir gives me a smile and then prances over to attend to a group of aristocrats. Madame Edith Beauvoir is the owner of this brothel, but occasionally she still takes customers herself, especially if the customers are famous lords. Indeed, although she's already past 30, this Madame is gorgeous. Her demeanor and her manner of speaking are also very elegant, like a lady in the house of a lord. Despite her age, she is the most expensive prostitute in the Maison de Beauvoir. I owe my life to Madame. If she hadn't taken me in after I was abandoned by my parents, I don't know what kind of life I would be leading now. I probably wouldn't even be alive. I mean, sure, I would like to have a normal home, but at least here I can sleep under a roof instead of an alley somewhere. Wow. When she took me in, Madame also agreed not to make me work since I got a job at the factory. Well, until I turned 16, that is. On my 16th birthday, she's going to make me serve my first customer, and she already has a list of high bidders. So she's not even 16 yet, and this Madame de Beauvoir is already making a list of customers who are pledging amounts to pay for her as a whore, as a prostitute, when she turns 16. Damn, that's kind of sad. My birthday is less than 3 months from now. With nothing else to do, I drag myself upstairs and waddle past a series of doors on my left. Each room is occupied at this hour. Each contains a customer and a girl. And no matter how many times I've heard the sounds from behind these doors, I cringe every time. I'll never be comfortable with it. A door opens in front of me. The young, naked, screaming woman from before comes out from the room. Now, though, she isn't naked and she isn't screaming. It's a nice change of pace for her. Oh, hey, Elise, she says. Hi, where did that man go? Oh, he had to leave through the window because the Dementors were coming for him. The who? It's part of our roleplay, never mind. I'm also wondering how she emerged from a room on a second floor when I just saw her running across the lobby, but I'm not going to ask. She leans on the wall. Looking up at the ceiling, she mutters something with a sigh. She looks exhausted. Sleeping with that geezer is one thing, but being chased around the house naked is really taking a toll on me. You have no idea how easy it is to slip on these floors if you're not wearing any shoes. So why do you keep servicing him then? With her head still turned up, she glances at me and answers matter-of-factly. Because his tip is bigger than his cock. Oh, God. Wow. His tip's bigger than his cock. Jesus. Haha. I look down and notice that her dress is torn, and blood is dripping from a small cut on her skin. Oh, you're bleeding. Yeah, he got a little aggressive back there. I bring my right hand to her wound. A small benefit of working at the factory is that I get to drink mana potions every day. Most of it is spent by the end of the work shift, but sometimes I get to go home with a little mana remaining in my body. Today is just one of those days. I focus on compassion, while my last bit of mana starts accumulating in my hand. That's cool. Transform. Transform with compassion is a compassion spell. There's a soft glow of light around her wound, and when it fades, there's no more cut, not even a scar. Wow, thank you, Elise. Good thing you had some mana left today. Oh, you're welcome. It didn't fix your torn dress, though. Yeah, usually they use heal spells. Yeah, there you go, Falconer. Well, magic can't fix everything, can it? Too bad, though. If magic could fix inanimate things, I could look like a princess even on my days off. Ha 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 ha. Well, she looks relieved to have been healed and doesn't seem too concerned about her dress, so I'm happy. And Elise says, yeah, it would be nice, right? Compassion magic only works on people, plants, and animals. The gods know I've tried curing my laundry of sweat and dirt with Cure Spell, but it never works. The young woman's like, oh, but I wonder if your magic can restore my Oh my gosh, what? What? I wonder if your magic can restore my... Oh man, my gaping hole down there from all the prostitution. She is giggling naughtily. What is she talking about? Oh man, I know what she's talking about. I'm sure you guys, my viewers, know what she's talking about. But poor Elise here doesn't know what she's talking about. Oh my. Elise like, you're what? Oh no. Young woman's like, never mind. I think I should get to my next customer. Thanks, Elise. She goes downstairs to greet a customer who has just entered the lobby. Yep. Busy, busy. I head to my room. Soon I come upon a set of small stairs. They lead to the attic where I live. This attic is where I've been living since coming to Mazan 6 years ago. It's hardly a palace, but 6 years? Wow. It's hardly a palace, but, well, it has a bed at least. And compared to all the other rooms, it's relatively quiet and isolated. I collapse onto my bed. I should probably take a bath and change into a different set of clothes before sleeping, but right now I'm feeling very exhausted. I can still hear obscene sounds from below. Occasionally they are accompanied by annoying, high-pitched laughter from young women and incoherent slurs from drunken men. In less than 3 months, I will be joining the chorus of that annoying, high-pitched laughter. That's actually sad, that once she turns 16, she's gonna have to be a freaking slut. Yeah, that's, that is kind of sad. Poor Elise. I already feel sorry for Elise. I hope something can help her so she doesn't have to become a damn filthy prostitute. I don't want to think about that right now. Right now, all I want to do is... looks like she's going to sleep. Alright guys, and this is the next day, I guess? Earth Day 25th of Sextilis, 3:13 a.m. And right there, guys, we are going to save this game so far. And we are... Let's go ahead and save it there. Yeah, we're good. Falconer, thanks so much for being here. Whoever else is here, whoever is out there listening, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you being here for my live stream. This is the live stream Under the Moonshine, number 176. our first part and playthrough of an Octave Higher. I look forward to continuing on Octave Higher. I'm definitely going to finish Octave Higher this time. It is a very interesting read. Again, I think it won an indie prize for best narrative for a reason, and I think we're starting to see why it has such a good story. I am definitely interested in seeing how this all plays out, and I do remember from a couple of years ago that it gets even more interesting as we continue the story. While I haven't finished it yet, I do know it gets even more interesting as we get into it a little bit deeper. So thanks, Falconer. Yes, I enjoyed you being here, and we'll see you again tomorrow with my live, or my first stream is Games of Our Lives. So 7 p.m. Eastern, Games of Our Lives. We'll be there, guys. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. See you in the next one. This has been Zaxxer99. Peace, everybody.